There's a Splatoon Splatfest going on right now in-game. It's a Pokemon-themed one where you're being asked to pick which starter Pokemon type you'd want to take with you on your adventure, from either grass, fire, or water.
Yes, here we are, right in the middle of participation, and we're going to have to choose which one we want, is that not right?
Exactly, so which one should you be going for? That's what we're asking here today. So indeed, in Pokemon, these refer to different types of Pokemon that have various strengths and weaknesses against each other. Isn't that right, Bertie?
It most certainly is, yes, and I think we've got a choice here of either grass, fire, or water, is that not right?
That's correct. Now, of course, grass has strengths against water, but weaknesses against fire, doesn't it?
Apparently, yes, water type is super effective, but against fire, not so good.
That's right, indeed. Very effective against water, whereas fire, of course, is extremely effective against grass because it burns it up, you see, but of course it gets put out by water.
That's true. Now, that's a good point, you see, obviously. So water, then, of course, is very effective against fire types.
Yes.
Because, obviously, fire and water. But it's strangely weak against grass.
Now, why would it be weak against grass?
Well, think about it. I mean, I'm just thinking.
Yes.
Water makes grass grow, doesn't it?
It makes grass grow. Exactly. So therefore, the grass has an advantage against it. That's where they're going. So basically, what you have here is you have a perfect triangle between grass, fire, and water. So the question of which one you choose is not really based on your in-game advantages, either in Splatoon or in Pokemon. It's more based on which one your heart is saying, which one you feel inside is the right way to go with.
Oh, so hang on, wait a minute. So
yes.
Whichever one of these we choose, it doesn't really matter or affect our gameplay?
Well, it doesn't affect your in-game performance, of course, but the way it works is the team with the most points at the end of the Splatfest will get a larger share of the Super Sea Snails. So therefore, there's something up for grabs here. So it's important to go with whichever one you think's right, but you've also got to be a bit strategic here, because you've got to pick one that you think's going to win if you want those in-game goodies.
So these are teams, these grass, fire and water are really like teams then?
They are teams in the Splatfest, of course.
So other chaps that people have chosen?
Well, that's right. Now, some people, of course, have gone with fire, some have gone with grass, some have gone with water. Now, as of the time of this video, there was a sneak peek at the event, and right now, water had just a very, very slight lead, okay? So when I was picking a team, I very much factored this in and thought, which one should I go with? Now, water was slightly ahead. Now, my favourite colour happens to be blue. Okay, right. So water looks nice to me, it's appealing. Now, water also puts out those raging fires, so I thought, well, if there's some fiery players out there, we might have to douse them with a bucket of cold water and get the win like that, you see.
That's true. Well, I like green, so I'd have gone for grass.
But Bertie likes green. I had a feeling you'd say that, Bertie. So Bertie would have gone for grass instead, so therefore my water would have been growing his flowers and daisies on his green patch of grass. So that wouldn't have worked for me. But I, however, went for water. In our gameplay, we did indeed do some defending for the water team, do a bit of battling, get out there with the old spat roller, and I have to say it went fairly well. I'll admit there was a bit of a rough start, but after we got ourselves established and started to get into the groove of things, things went much, much better. At one point, I even got on a 7-kill streak. Now, that has to be, obviously, because of the bluing, clearly, motivating me and encouraging me. Signals, so much blue on the screen. I love blue, it's great.
That's what's done it, no doubt about it. And that will also, of course, give us some good points, won't it?
Well, of course, your wins do contribute towards your team, so therefore, if you fancy yourself rather good at the game, this is the time to get in the game now and start earning points for your team using your best loadout possible. Now, some gameplay points. For me, I found the best way to do this was not to go rushing in like most players do, but to play a little bit defensively, especially if you use a defensive weapon such as the Splat Roller. Yes. Now, of course, again, if you have a team that is pushing hard on the other side, your team's in danger, they've got the most turf on the other team, the best thing to do is actually to fall back a little bit to your base and defend and see off the attackers, so they'll get sent back to their spawn and have a respawn time. That gives your team time to push ahead and reclaim some stolen and lost turf. And actually, once or twice, we did get some very narrow clutch wins where we had been in danger, but pulled it back round using those defensive tactics to get a win at the end.
Yes, most certainly. I see there's a lot of blue going on down there. I'm just thinking though, what say you're on the blue team and as we progress they start to lose a bit? I mean, can you change teams?
You can't change teams, so that's why it's so important to make your decision with all conviction at the start. For me, the blue is the way to go. You might think, no, I'm a fiery-spirited person, I want the fire team. You might think, no, I like gardening, I like grass, I'm going to go with the grass type. I mean, fair enough, absolutely.
Yes, so there we go.
Game, and we did indeed just squeak out a win there. That was really, really close. We were in danger. We pulled it round. Look at that.
0.3%.
Yes, got some medals there too. Go with whatever floats your boat. But indeed, as I said before, you need to make sure with this one you're really giving it your all, because you're really playing not just for yourself anymore, but for a team. That's what this is about.
Yes, I see this, and I'm just looking, as we go on here. There's a lot of blue and there's some fire. I don't really see any grass here, do you?
Well, that depends, of course, which match you're in. Sometimes you're up against fire types, sometimes against grass, and if you're on a different team, of course, sometimes against water types. So, there are also different types of events inside the game. Beyond just those basics, you might go into attack versus defense modes. There might be special multiplier modes, if you do really well, where you can gain a huge amount of points for your team. So you really have to give this your best shot and be on the top of your game.
Right, so is this a round we're in at the moment? It's going to end soon, is it, or what?
That's right, of course, in a round here. As you can see there, in some of the footage here you're seeing on the screen, we did indeed get into danger, as I said earlier, but a little bit of clever play, a little bit of holding back, perhaps defending the fort and then pushing out afterwards, proved to come in handy. And indeed, you can turn matches round, but you've just got to stop rushing sometimes. You've got to stop overextending and think, no, it's time to be a bit more defensive, a bit more strategic here.
Yes, indeed. And so we're not doing too bad here, are we? A couple of knockouts, but
Overall, I'd say, well, this is one of the better rounds I played, I think. Some of the rounds didn't go so well, particularly in the earlier stages. I tried using different weapons and ones I wasn't familiar with. I was perhaps overextending a bit too much. And of course, the other thing that can happen is sometimes you just get matched up against unfair odds. The other team is just ridiculously good. They're just comprised of all champions, that kind of thing. If that happens, just leave the match and choose another one. You don't want to be, of course, making things too hard for yourself, after all, needlessly. So there you are. Let us know in the comments section which team you'd go with, grass, fire or water.
Oh look, now in this match our inks are different colour. I thought we were blue for water.
That's right, I got confused as well actually. In this particular match our ink was a lemon colour, but notice if you see when the squid pops out of the ink, we're still wearing a blue uniform, so that's what gives away that we're still on the blue team. Of course the enemy team there using pink ink. I mean, what's up with that? But that's just the way the game works sometimes. Sometimes your ink will not match the colour of your team. And again, you can be sure you're on the right team just by looking at the colour of your gear on your squid.
So we've got
tells you.
Yeah, so we've got lemonade then.
Lemonade.
And what have they got?
They've got, I don't know, raspberry? Strawberry? I'm not sure.
Raspberry, which is supposed to be fire, is it?
Well, I don't know. It could be fire. I'm not entirely sure, actually. I didn't pay too much attention. It looks like possibly fire, possibly. I can't tell for sure.
I don't know, but you think you're green with grass, wouldn't you? But we're not, we're blue.
No, I thought, what's going on here? I'm on the wrong team. Is this a special mode? But no, it's just part of the game. That's how it works sometimes on different stages. So don't get daunted, fellows. Keep at it, I say. And again, be sure to use your best tactics because you're fighting for your team. Once you've made your decision with conviction, it's time to get out there and show them what you're made of.
Oh, yes, indeed, yes. And make sure you choose your team wisely, preferably when you go in. This is simple maths, isn't it? If one team's got 20% win and the other's got 50% win, just go with the 50.
If only it was so easy though, Bertie. It's neck and neck out there, so your contribution really can make a difference. This has been GameChap and Bertie bringing you our best advice on which team to go with and how to battle in the Splatfest. We hope you have fun and thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you once more in the next exciting outing.
We do.
Until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.